How does your organization handle change? Hello, my name is Kathleen Sears and I help managers, supervisors, and team leaders better communicate their ideas by being authentic leaders who inspire people on a daily basis. So, how do you handle change? Where do the decisions come from? There's a whole process to change management, and there's really 5 phases that are critical to doing any kind of change in an organization. If you look at it personally, just look at the last time you wanted to lose weight, or you tried to learn a new software, or you were transferred to a new team. You were dealing with change. You need to adapt quickly, and it's a little bit uncomfortable because there's a change of habit there. So what I'm trying to tell you here is, if you're going to live any kind of change, there's 3 things you got to be aware of. The first one is be prepared to make some mistakes. Second one is be careful and kind to yourself, because guess what? You're going to have a learning curve and you're going to have some hits and misses. And the third one is really about giving yourself a chance and giving you the time it needs to incorporate and get this new change to be inherent within you. When we look at the change management in organizations, the specialist called J.P. Cotter, he says that basically 70% of change management efforts don't work. They don't work for the simple reason that we put 70% on managing what's going to happen in this change process and 30% in leadership. The actual truth is we should be actually doing 70% of leadership and 30% of managing. Why? Because we need to understand human behavior, and as soon as there's a change, people get resistant, they get very doubtful, and they get resigned. So I need to look at those emotions in order to get the process of the change managing initiative to work. So the first phase is really looking at, hey, do I have a strategic plan? So why are we doing this change? Who's involved? Who's at the heart of this change? And what's my budget? What's my deadline? And who's involved in this? So I need to strategize before I start looking at the impacts of what are the good sides of doing this change and what are the bad sides. The second thing I need to be aware of is basically who's going to be my ambassador on this. First of all, is it somebody going to be inside the organization that's going to take this role on? Basically, middle managers don't have much time. They're really occupied with their operations, day-to-day operations. So you're going to have to take somebody that has the time to do it and has a lot of credibility and has great communication skills. That's why many things that you see in change management is you get people from outside that actually handle this project. The third thing you're going to be looking at is, well, how are you going to do this change initiative? What's your communication plan? So are you going to just do one meeting? Are you going to send some letters? Are you going to do some emails? What's your best communication mode to get people on board with this change that's going to happen? So like I said, if you just focus on the managing aspect, you're forgetting the huge part of people are a little bit cynical and don't like to change their habits. So most initiatives, even if you say a big speech and tell people what's going to be the change, people are not prepared for it. The fourth thing you're going to have to look at is training. So how am I going to be training these people? One thing's for sure, the training has to be very short and it has to be very consequent with what the people are doing in their jobs and how they're affected with this change and how can they put this new process in place in a rapid and comfortable way. If you're going to be training also, you need to have a 20%, I would say, degree there or in time period where people need to be coached and you're going to get feedback on how it's going and where their troubles are. The fifth phase is really about, okay, we're halfway through or we're a quarter through. Let's look at what's going well and be prepared to adapt, because all plans are very well, but human nature being what it is, you might have fluctuations in learning curves and the processes and stuff like that. So be prepared to relook at your strategic plan and change it accordingly to what's going on. So let's not forget, any change that occurs in an organization is between 3 to 5 years. So be patient, make sure you stay in communication, and more importantly, be authentic in the process. If you enjoyed this video, share it with friends and colleagues, share it on social media, and looking forward to talking to you next week. Thank you.